So our mission today in this deep dive is to basically lay out a clear roadmap, something actionable for anyone who wants to properly master English, not just learn bits and pieces.
Right.
And we're drawing heavily from this excellent source, Mastering English, Essential Approaches and Strategies.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
It really is. It's not dry theory. It's packed with practical advice, even some surprising facts about how language learning actually works best, in our brains.
What's fascinating here, and what that source really highlights so well, is that mastering a language isn't like reaching a final stop on a train line. It's much more of a journey, a dynamic process. And what we want to do today is give you, the listener, 7 clear pathways. They're distinct, but also crucially interconnected.
Okay.
These are all detailed in the source, and we'll sprinkle in a few extra ideas too, things that can maybe really speed things up for you.
Great. 7 pathways plus extras. Sounds comprehensive.
It's about building a strategy that works for you, a multifaceted approach.
Okay, let's kick things off.
Yeah.
Strategy number 1 sounds, well, almost obvious, but maybe it's overlooked. Setting clear strategic goals.
It sounds simple, doesn't it? I want to learn English.
Yeah, everyone said that.
But the source makes a really strong point. That kind of vague wish, it often leads nowhere, or worse, burnout.
Right, so you need something more concrete.
Exactly. You need objectives that are way beyond just learn English. The source points to the SMART framework. You've probably heard of it.
Specific, measurable, achieve.
Relevant, and time-bound. Yes.
Okay. SMART goals. How does that apply here, practically?
Well, the text gives some great examples. Instead of learn English, how about, I will learn 20 new words each week using flashcards.
Okay, that's specific 20 words. Measurable, you can count them. Achievable, well, depends on the person, but yeah. Relevant, obviously. Time-bound per week. Okay, checks out.
Or, I'll do 1 listening exercise daily, maybe a podcast on a topic I actually like.
Right. Again, very concrete.
Or even something like, by the end of next month, I want to be able to hold a basic 5-minute chat with a native speaker about my hobbies.
See, that feels like a real target you can aim for, not just wishful thinking.
Precisely. These are verifiable targets. You can track them, you can see your progress, and importantly, you can celebrate hitting them.
And it's not just setting the goal, right? The source talks about breaking it down, tactics.
Yes, absolutely. It's about building routines. Maybe, say, a 15-minute vocabulary review every morning, non-negotiable.
When your brain's fresh.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Or scheduling mock speaking sessions twice a week. Maybe with a language partner, or honestly, even just talking to yourself, describing your day out loud in English.
A bit weird, maybe, but I can see how that helps build fluency without pressure.
And the journal idea is powerful too, not just for words, but for tracking successes, challenges, even how you felt about a difficult task.
Like, that grammar rule finally clicked, or felt totally lost in that conversation today.
Exactly. It makes the whole process tangible, personal. It keeps you grounded.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, why is this clarity so vital? You mentioned burnout.
Well, yeah. Think about it. Without clear goals, your effort gets scattered, doesn't it? It's like trying to shoot arrows in the dark.
You don't know what you're aiming for.
Precisely. SMART goals channel your energy. They give you direction, a North Star, and crucially, they fuel motivation.
How so?
Because you can see the progress. Learning those 20 words, having that 5-minute chat, those are wins. You can tick them off.
The satisfaction of ticking a box.
It's powerful. It triggers dopamine, reinforces the behavior. It stops you feeling like you're just treading water, climbing this endless hill with no summit in sight.
That feeling of overwhelm.
Exactly. Celebrating small, visible steps keeps you going. It turns a potential marathon slog into a series of achievable, rewarding sprints. That psychological boost is huge for long-term success.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Having those milestones makes the mountain seem climbable. So from setting clear targets, let's move to the second strategy. Formal, structured learning.
Right. So this is about engaging with, actual courses, university programs, language schools, good online academies.
The traditional route, in a way.
Kind of, but the emphasis here is on systematic coverage, making sure you methodically work through grammar, vocabulary, and all 4 skills. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, building a solid foundation.
And the source highlights specific benefits to this, beyond just structure.
Oh, definitely. First, you get professional guidance. Feedback from experienced teachers who can spot your specific error patterns, maybe things you wouldn't notice yourself.
Personalized corrections.
Exactly. They don't just tell you what's wrong, but often why it's wrong, which is much more useful for learning.
I see.
Second, the curriculum is often aligned with big exams like TOEFL or IELTS. So if you need those for uni or a job,
It's targeted preparation.
Yeah.
Efficient.
very efficient. And third, and this is often underrated, the peer interaction in group classes.
Learning with other people.
Yeah, you learn from them too.
Yeah.
Role-playing, discussions, group problem-solving. It makes the learning social, dynamic. You hear different accents, different ways of saying things.
Builds confidence in a real-world-ish setting.
Absolutely. It pushes you to use the language collaboratively.
Okay, so if someone's thinking about this route, what should they look for in a program? Any tips from the source?
Yeah, some very practical ones. Look for small class sizes. That means more individual attention, more speaking time for you.
Makes sense. Fewer places to hide.
Right. Also, regular assessments, not just one big final exam, but ongoing quizzes, maybe short presentations, just to keep track of progress and pinpoint weak spots early.
Continuous feedback.
Exactly. And the source specifically mentions opportunities for oral presentations, actually having to stand up, organize your thoughts, and present something in English.
That forces you to really consolidate your learning.
It really does. Think about someone struggling with, say, complex grammar. No matter how many apps they use, sometimes they need that structured explanation, the guided practice, the immediate expert feedback you get in a good course.
It fills those fundamental gaps.
Yeah, it provides the scaffolding that self-study sometimes lacks and helps avoid embedding bad habits.
Okay, solid foundations, structured learning. Got it. But, life happens. Schedules are crazy. That leads us nicely into the next strategy, doesn't it? Self-paced digital resources.
This is where flexibility really comes in. Apps, online platforms.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredibly powerful now.
Not just add-ons anymore.
For many people, no. They can supplement formal courses, sure, but they can also effectively replace them, depending on the learner and their needs. The beauty is you tailor it to your schedule, your pace, your interests.
So what kind of tools are we talking about? The source mentions specifics.
Yes, some really effective ones. Things like Enki or Quizlet for vocabulary. They use spaced repetition.
Ah, the flashcard thing where it shows you the word just before you forget it.
Exactly. It's based on memory science, really boosts long-term retention, much smarter than random reviewing.
Okay, cool. What else?
Well, beyond vocabulary, think interactive grammar tutorials. Khan Academy has some great stuff. Grammarly helps with writing in real time. Loads of educational YouTube channels, too.
For pronunciation, idioms, culture.
All of that. Visual, auditory explanations, and podcasts, of course, like this one. Great for listening practice in context on topics you actually find interesting.
Totally. So how do you recommend people actually use these tools effectively? Just dive in whenever.
Well, the source suggests being intentional. Carve out dedicated time slots in your week. Maybe 30 minutes in the morning for Anki, an hour in the evening for a grammar site, or a YouTube deep dive.
Consistency is key, even with flexible tools.
Absolutely, it builds momentum. And what's really empowering, as the source points out, is the control this gives you.
How so?
You direct your own learning. You can hammer away at your weak spots, skip stuff you already know, explore niche topics you love. It's personalized in a way a fixed classroom curriculum often can't be.
So it adapts to you, not the other way around.
Precisely. It makes learning more enjoyable, more sustainable, and arguably more democratic. Great resources are accessible to almost anyone now.
That feeling of control must be huge for motivation, too.
Yep.
Okay, so we have goals, formal structure, flexible digital tools, but knowing stuff isn't the same as using it, right?
Exactly. And this is where the next strategy comes in, and it's absolutely critical. Active practice and conversational interaction.
Getting out there and actually talking.
You got it. The source is clear. True fluency emerges through real communication. You can know all the rules, but if you can't use them spontaneously in a conversation, you're falling short.
So how do you find opportunities to practice, especially if you don't live in an English-speaking country?
Well, technology helps massively here. There are language exchange communities online. Tandem, HelloTalk are popular examples. You find native speakers learning your language.
The classic language exchange, win-win.
Yeah. Then there are conversation clubs, either local ones or virtual ones popping up everywhere online, often based around shared interests.
A slightly more structured, maybe less intimidating setting.
Could be. And then there's the really interesting cutting-edge stuff. Practicing with AI chatbots.
Like ChatGPT. Can that really simulate a conversation?
Increasingly, yes. Advanced versions can handle really natural, dynamic dialogue. You can talk about anything, get instant feedback on mistakes, try out new phrases.
And crucially, No fear of judgment.
Exactly. It's a completely safe space to experiment, make mistakes, try again. You can practice for hours without worrying about boring someone or looking foolish.
That's actually a brilliant point. It lowers the stakes massively.
It does, and this brings up a really important related point from the source. Self-reflection. Specifically, recording yourself.
Ooh, nobody likes the sound of their own voice.
Huh. True, it can be awkward. But it's incredibly insightful. You listen back and you suddenly hear the pronunciation issues you didn't realize you had, or where you always hesitate, or that grammar mistake you keep making.
You become your own coach, in a way.
Precisely. You pinpoint your specific challenges. Then, in your next practice session, whether with a human or AI, you consciously work on those things.
That direct feedback loop sounds powerful.
This raises an important question, doesn't it? About the value of that immediate feedback. Whether it's from a person or AI or even yourself through recording, that instant awareness is what accelerates progress.
So you're not just blindly practicing, you're practicing with targeted awareness.
Exactly. Especially with AI, you can make a mistake, get corrected, try again immediately, all on the fly. It helps break down that fear of making mistakes, that self-censorship that holds so many learners back in real conversations. It builds confidence rapidly in a low-stakes setting.
Okay. Taking ownership, practicing actively, using feedback.
Yeah.
What's next on our roadmap?
We move into something broader, more holistic. Cultural immersion with authentic content.
So going beyond the language itself.
In a way, yes. It's about understanding the language in its natural habitat. Textbooks and grammar drills often miss the idioms, the tone, the rhythm, the cultural assumptions baked into how people actually speak.
The stuff that makes communication feel natural.
Exactly. This is how you build intuition for the language.
So how do you immerse yourself? Move to London.
Well, that helps, but it's not essential anymore. The source suggests practical strategies using easily accessible content. Watching films or TV series, for instance.
Okay, everyone loves movies.
Right. Start with English subtitles to help comprehension. Then maybe watch again without subtitles. Test yourself. Train your ear to the natural speed and flow.
Good tip. What else?
Reading, novels, news articles, blogs, anything you genuinely find interesting. But don't just read passively. Notice unfamiliar phrases, idioms. Look them up. Try to use them.
Active reading.
Mm-hmm. And listening, of course. Music, TED Talks, radio shows, podcasts. And for a real deep dive, the source suggests transcribing short segments.
Writing down exactly what you hear sounds painstaking.
It can be, but it forces incredibly close listening. You catch connected speech, reduced sounds, intonation patterns you'd otherwise miss. It's like putting the language under a microscope.
I can see that. Intense listening practice.
And crucially, it's not just about passive consumption. The source emphasizes active reflection.
How do you mean?
Summarize the plot of the movie you watched in English. Explain the main points of the TED Talk. Write your opinion on the news article.
Force yourself to produce language based on the input.
Exactly. That active processing cements the learning and deepens your cultural insight. You start thinking in English, not just translating. You understand why people say things a certain way in a certain context.
Because language and culture are intertwined.
Fundamentally. Understanding the culture makes the language feel less like rules and more like, well, real human expression.
Okay, immersion is vital. But how do you know if any of this is actually working? How do you track progress across all these different approaches?
Great question. That leads us directly to the next strategy. Continuous assessment and plan adjustment.
Checking in on yourself regularly.
Critically important. The source stresses this isn't just a nice to have, it's vital to prevent stagnation. You need to know what's working, what isn't, and adjust your plan accordingly, like checking the map on a road trip.
So how do you assess yourself effectively?
Several ways. Online proficiency tests like the EFSA or Cambridge placement tests, maybe every couple of months. They give you a snapshot of your levels across different skills.
Reading, listening, grammar, etc.
Yep. They highlight strengths and, importantly, weaknesses. Second, keep that learning log we mentioned earlier. Track errors, breakthroughs, frustrations. Become aware of your own process.
Metacognition, thinking about your thinking.
Precisely. And third, check in periodically with tutors or language partners. Get an outside perspective. They might spot things you miss and help you recalibrate your goals.
Okay, assess regularly. But then what?
Then you act on the results. That's the key step. What's fascinating here is how dynamic this makes the whole process.
Right.
So if your tests consistently show your listening is lagging way behind your reading.
You need to pump up the listening practice.
Exactly. More podcasts, more audiobooks, more active watching, more transcribing. You use the data to surgically target your weak spots.
So you're not wasting time on things you're already good at.
Correct. It makes your study incredibly efficient. It's this constant cycle. Learn, assess, adjust, learn more effectively. It keeps you moving forward optimally.
A self-correcting learning system.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay, that brings us to the final core strategy, and it sounds very modern. Leveraging modern technologies and artificial intelligence.
Yeah, this builds on the digital resources idea, but goes further into cutting-edge tools.
How are these different?
They often offer more sophisticated personalization and feedback. Think speech-to-text software that doesn't just transcribe, but gives you detailed pronunciation feedback. Pinpoints exactly where you went wrong with a sound or intonation.
Instant granular feedback.
Wow. Or adaptive learning platforms. These systems actually adjust the difficulty level and the type of exercise based on how you are performing in real time.
So it keeps you in that sweet spot, challenged but not overwhelmed.
Exactly. Then there are AI writing assistants, think advanced Grammarly or similar tools. They don't just fix typos. They suggest better phrasing, improve style, check tone, explain complex grammar points, like having a writing tutor available 24/7.
That sounds incredibly useful.
And the source even mentions things like virtual reality for language learning.
Seriously, like putting on a headset.
Yeah. Imagine walking into a virtual cafe, ordering coffee, having a conversation with an AI character, getting feedback on your interaction. It's immersive roleplay without leaving your room.
Mind blown. Okay, so the future is here. How do you navigate all these options?
Well, the source strongly encourages experimentation. Try different tools. See what clicks for you, what keeps you engaged.
Find your personal tech mix.
Precisely, because what's revolutionary for one person might not work for another. The big implication here is that technology is making learning hyper-personalized.
Tailored to the individual like never before.
Right. It's making high-quality, personalized feedback and practice more accessible, more efficient, potentially transforming how we learn languages altogether. It's shifting the focus from a one-size-fits-all system to a system that adapts intelligently to the learner.
That's a huge shift, a real game changer. Okay, so we've journeyed through 7 distinct strategies. Goals, formal learning, digital tools, active practice, immersion, assessment, and AI tech. That's a lot.
It is. But the crucial message, the big takeaway from the source, is that the real magic happens when you blend these approaches.
If not, pick one and stick with it.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's a both-hand situation. The ideal mix depends entirely on your learning style, your schedule, your current goals. It's about synergy.
Okay, can we quickly recap how each piece fits into the puzzle? Maybe mention the key tools again.
Sure. So setting clear goals gives you focus and lets you track progress. Use journals, habit trackers.
Got it.
Formal structured courses provide expert guidance. Peer learning, maybe certification, think universities, language schools.
Right.
Self-paced digital resources offer flexibility and targeted practice, often with spaced repetition. That's your Anki, Quizlet, Khan Academy, YouTube.
Yeah.
Active conversational practice builds real fluency and gives immediate feedback. Tandem, HelloTalk, even ChatGPT for practice.
Mm-hmm.
Cultural immersion delivers context and natural language use. Films, books, podcasts, news.
Essential.
Continuous assessment identifies weak spots and guides your plan. EF, SSET, placement tests, tutor feedback.
Keep adjusting.
And modern tech and AI provides personalization and efficient feedback, speech-to-text, adaptive platforms, VR maybe.
Wow, seeing it laid out like that really shows how they complement each other.
Exactly. It's a toolkit. You pick the right tools for the job at hand.
And the source even throws in a few more ideas, right? Beyond these 7 core ones.
Yeah, just to show the breadth of possibilities. Things like joining English-speaking volunteer groups.
Using the language for a real purpose in a community.
Nice.
Or starting a blog or diary just in English. Forces regular writing practice.
Makes you formulate thoughts in English.
Or attending international webinars or workshops online in English on topics you like. Pushes your listening and specialized vocabulary.
So what does this all mean? For you, the listener.
It means shifting your mindset, turning language learning from a separate task, maybe even a chore, into an integrated part of your lifestyle.
Making it part of your everyday world.
Precisely. Each method, whether it's structured study or just listening to music, adds another layer, enriches your exposure, and deepens your command. It leads to that holistic mastery we're aiming for. It's about creating this supportive learning ecosystem around yourself. What an amazing journey we've taken then, from setting those initial SMART goals all the way to leveraging cutting-edge AI. It really hammers home that mastering English isn't passive.
Not at all.
It's active, it's iterative, it's deeply personal, and actually it sounds like it can be a really rewarding process.
It absolutely can be. So maybe the final thought for you to chew on, building on everything we've discussed.
Okay.
Think about how that blend of approaches really changes the game. It stops being just about ticking off grammar exercises and becomes this dynamic exploration, an exploration of ideas, of cultures, of new ways to express yourself. So ask yourself, how might embracing just one new strategy from our deep dive today? Maybe it's finally starting that English diary. Maybe it's committing to 15 minutes of AI chat practice daily. Maybe it's just watching your favorite show without subtitles this time. How might that one change fundamentally shift your perspective and maybe unlock abilities you didn't even know you had?
A powerful question to end on. It really puts the power back in the learner's hands.
That's exactly where it belongs. The journey is yours to shape.